can't.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Because you're not that person.
Right, I'm not. Okay. I'm not, yeah.
So, and then there's somebody else who brought this point up, you know. We're all here in this community, and again, there's a certain level of money that you need in order to stay here. And she says, but you might be making $20 above, you know, poverty or something, and you're here, and that isn't taken into consideration. So, for example, I can understand that too. I totally understood that. So here you are, a parent or parents, and you are making just enough, but then because you're not broke, you're cut off from certain opportunities, you know, or grants or things that are available to people who don't have the money because you have just a little bit more than that. So you're cut off. Just like me, no one grants any money to me as a single parent with 2 children in college. I get no money. So because
you don't get no financial aid?
None. Zero.
For your kids in college?
Yes, Anselm. I get no financial aid.
Oh, something is wrong with that picture.
No, there's not. It's just the way it is. If you make X amount of money above whatever it is, then you pay.
So that
or
means
you take out loans.
But that means to say you make. Well, you know what it is that we have to be fair though. If they have a minimum and a maximum level, and you making above the maximum,
I'm making above the minimum.
Minimum. It's only fair that they uphold that for everyone else. I don't think
that's true. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I don't think they're picking out a white or a black or a pink or a green person and say, you know,
Did I say that?
You know, I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm thinking that's
no, but that's just the point, though. So,
okay.
But I guess that woman, just like me, would like someone to take that into consideration.
Okay.
Because there are opportunities that I could not afford because I make X amount.
Right.
But I can't afford them because I make X amount.
Well, you know,
when people are when the federal government is determining the poverty threshold or rate, they do not take into consideration the location you're in. If I took let's say I was making $80,000 a year. If I took that $80,000, I would be living very well in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. But to live in this area, $80,000 is nothing.
But
right?
That's not fair though.
But that's the reality.
But that's not fair.
I know, but you were the one talking about the fairness. But that's the way it is.
But the federal government will tell you, so why don't you just move to Tennessee?
Because if I were making $80,000, which is not my salary, by the way, if I were making $80,000 as a high school teacher in New York City, and I went to Tennessee, I wouldn't be making $80,000 as a high school teacher.
Okay.
This is, at some way, this is based on where you're living at, how much, you get paid as a public employee. While teachers, many people stated and restated this idea. I'm sorry, and they said white teachers specifically need cultural competency training and diversity training. And although these things are available primarily through the Community Coalition on Race, and they are not mandatory. So they believe that this should be mandated. Many parents stated that they felt that it should be mandated that all teachers take this cultural competency training. That people need to be taught to move beyond their own personal biases. And teachers and administrators, felt...
But let me stop you there. And this is not... I know this is just notes. But people gotta be serious and be honest too. Okay, you send me to class for a week. Right? I am 50 years of age. I've been this way for 50 years of my life. You send me to a class for a week. So it's now 50 years and 1 week. And you expect me to change overnight?
So you're saying that cultural competency would not be, or training and diversity would not be helpful?
It would be helpful, but it has to be more than that. Okay. It can't just be a week. No one
stipulated how long the profession...
Well, no, but that's how long it's going to be, though. It's going to be maybe a week or a day or something. These courses are a day. They send you for sensitivity training for a day, a week. Because how long can they allow you to be out of the classroom? Let's be honest.
Well, it depends on, the district and how well their professional development is. So at least, I don't know what it is here yet at this point. But for us, we have to go through 1, 2. Students are gone at 2:15. So from 2:15 to 3:40, we have to stay in the building on Monday and Tuesday. So it's an hour.
Do you guys go through cultural
No, but
diversity
there's some
training?
people who really definitely need it. So we got an hour and a
So
half.
you guys don't go through that at
Monday
your
and
school?
Tuesday. No. Monday and Tuesday. So, and then there are opportunities to do professional development out of the building, depending on whether you're going to pay for them or if the district does.
Okay, continue.
So they said that PD or professional development is needed for teachers who teaching ELL as well as math and science. Many of them stated that they believe that a lot of the teachers, as well as the administrators, are afraid of black boys in particular.
Did they say why? Did they give a reason why?
No, they just stated what they felt was a problem. It's hard to explain why someone else would be. Someone noted that affirmative action is needed, that 60% of the district is black, composed of black students, but only 6% of the staff in the district is black. So, and although we have...
Say that again, only 6%?
Yeah, 6% of the staff, be that teachers and or administrators, are black in the district.
And the percentage of students are
are 60%.
60%.
They said that even though there's a call for affirmative action or diversity in the community, the affirmative action officer is a white male.
What is there something wrong with that?
No. Can I tell you?
What do you think? Is something wrong with that? That the person is a white male?
Well, let me continue along this line for a moment, please. As well as the whole idea that there's racial segregation across the classrooms.
Oh, we discussed
and
that.
And this goes along with the leveling or tracking in the high schools, which they see as a problem.
Okay.
Now, so we say their affirmative action officers are white male. The district has 60% black students. So this is someone who likes spouting out different numbers. Maybe we should double check her numbers. But only 6% of the teachers are of color. And then someone added, though, there are not enough black teachers, but there's an overabundance of black female administrators. And then she says, why do you got to have the principal who looks like your mother? That's just going to make you angrier.
I don't get that one.
Well, when I think of a couple of the schools, the administrators are black.
Oh, you mean the principals?
The principals, yes,
right.
are black.
That's a good thing, right?
But the black principal is leading a predominantly white staff.
Okay.
So, first of all, you're not going to really be that much in contact with that person unless you've got some kind of issue going on. Mm-hmm. And so if you do have some kind of, problem that takes you to the principal's office, then now you're looking at your mother rather than
what?
Well, I find it hard that you would have a problem with that because it sounds like something sexist that you would say. But at any rate, let me keep going.
Wait, something sexist I would say. What to me?
And
wait.
No, let me finish and then you can come back.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Some people said that the PTAs in the school have way too much power. And it was implied or stated specifically that many black families, even with two parents, are working and unable to participate. So there should be some other vehicle to increase the participation.
So wait. Anyway, keep going.
And finally, before we look at the last one, which is really short, what qualities you're looking for. If the majority of teachers, I like this point, if the majority of teachers are highly qualified, asked this person, how do more than 50% of the students fail? So those were the issues that people had with the district. People said we want to see more black males teaching, and to have a black male science teacher or math teacher would be a wonderful thing. And then the consultant said they're hard to find, and then you heard people in the back saying, well, I know a couple.
Did he really say that?
That is the general echo that people have, that black male math and science teachers are not easy to find. When I was talking to somebody this weekend,
listen,
and I told them my story.
I could find them.
So you should find them and send them in this direction.
A math teacher, and he taught at Week, and he's Nigerian, by the way. And he's very good. He taught at Week High School. He taught at Shabazz High School. But he's now a vice principal, so.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. That's how good he was. A math teacher.
Okay, that's great.
And there is many math teachers in these schools. But you know what? Maybe they don't want to. If you leave, if you're at Week, I'm sure you got tenure. Why would you leave there and go to Columbia, where I don't think if you just start, you're going to have tenure, and you have to deal with all the other stuff.
Well, you may not have tenure, but if you're in the state of New Jersey, your salary is based on the number of years that you've spent.
No, but forget about salary.
Okay.
Tenure is more important than salary.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case, because if you're all that, you don't really worry about tenure.
Yeah, well, it's important. I think I'm not a teacher, but I would think it's important because the harassment you can get if you don't have tenure.
You can get harassed with tenure as well.
You can get, but you got you got a safety blanket if you got tenure, as opposed to if you don't have it.
Okay, all the tenure is doing is ensuring that you have due process.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Now,
that's
if somebody is harassing you, you do have some right.
Oh, come on.
Okay, all right. So here we go.
But let me get back to the mother thing that you talked about. Which I'm sorry, but and this is part of the problem. If we have a person who is the principal, and it so happened to be a person of color, we should look at that as the system is really trying to create diversity from the top. Okay? And if you're going to look at it and say, well, if I got to go into that office, now I'm going into my mother. Okay. So what? What about if that principal wasn't a person of color?
Well, I mean, that's a reasonable question. I mean, I thought about would it be better to be sent to the principal's office and it's a white guy.
To me, that makes that's like a bogus argument. It's bogus. And it's like, you have the CEO now, who is a person of color.
She's a principal, not a CEO.
Well,
go ahead.
She's the CEO of the school. She's in charge of the school. She's the CEO. She oversees the school. The CEO is the guy who's in charge, or the woman who's in charge. Right? So she oversees the school, and it's inspirational for people to see that the head of the school is a person of color, especially if the school is predominantly kids of color. For the kids of color to see, you know what? I see my principal as a person of color, just as how the white kids can say, I see the principal as a Caucasian person, and I can aspire to be a principal.
There is a, okay, I understand what you're saying.
I mean, does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying, and I understand what the woman is saying as well.
I didn't understand what she was saying.
Okay. But to see a principal that is a black woman, I don't know. Personally, I don't see that as a big deal because my mother was a principal who's a black woman, so that isn't. But at any rate, I understand. So what? But for a black woman to see another black woman as the head honcho, then you think I can be that person. For a white person to see a black woman as the head honcho, well, black people are head honchos. for a black boy, I guess their point is that it would be nice to see male role models. That's